Nash Nance joined me on the Sports Buffet podcast. He is the transfer from the University of Tennessee who will play his next 2 years of college football at Hampden Sydney. He joined me on the Sports Buffet podcast to talk about what he likes about Hampden Sydney, his time in Knoxville, and much, much more. Nash Nance on the Sports Buffet podcast.
Hampden Sydney's got a lot to be excited about this year, and Nash Nance hopes that he can be one of those things that's really going to get the brethren up in Farmville excited. He joins me here on the Sports Buffet podcast, and Nash, obviously big league credentials, verbally committed to Vanderbilt at first, then went to Tennessee. What made you decide to make Hampden Sydney a stop on the Nash Nance football tour?
Well, it was about the 7th or 8th week in a row of recruiting, flying out of Knoxville. And me and my dad did some researching, and we were looking at, really high academic schools that, had a good offense and liked to throw it around a lot. And Hampden Sydney's name came up, and so me and Dad, we just took the visit, and I came up for a weekend for an official visit, and then I liked it so much I came back the next weekend, and after that it was probably about a month until I decided to go ahead and commit to Hampden Sydney and decide to play here for the next 3 years.
What was Coach Favret's reaction when you told him?
Well, a little bird told me that he thought it was a prank at first, right, which was kind of funny, but after, we got everything settled down, he just, told me about their offense and wanted to get me up for a visit, and so we decided to come up, and, I loved everything about it, and it was just, real exciting, fun offense, especially for a quarterback to be in. So that made it a lot more intriguing to me, and, the campus is beautiful, and it reminded me a lot of Darlington High School. It was a prep school I grew up at, and so it was almost a no-brainer, but it was definitely a tough decision coming down to the end there. But I decided to come here, and I don't have any regret whatsoever, and it's been better than what I thought it would be.
And you hit on one thing that to me is very important. Not everybody is going to be in the NFL, whether some people think they're going to be there or not. There's always a life after football. What about the academics of Hampden Sydney made it appealing?
Well, I want to do finance, and I had a few contacts with some alum, once I committed to Hampden Sydney, and talked to some guys about internships, and there's just a lot of investment groups up here, especially in Virginia and the Richmond area. So that made it appealing to me to come here, and of course, I aspire to play professional football, but if things don't work out, or once I get done in my career of football, I want to have a life after that. Football only lasts 3 to 4 years in the NFL, and you got the next 20 or 30 years. You gotta find something to do and work and attain a job. And I definitely think Hampden Sydney sets me up to do both of those.
They talk about in terms of you went to a big time college, and they talk about when a professional player is sent down to the minors that he kind of always treats the guys. In terms of coming from a major Division I college program to a very good Division III college program, what do you feel your role is in helping the guys maybe understand something just about football, or maybe an experience that you've had that they haven't had that could be beneficial coming from your mouth?
Well, I told the guys, football is football. They ask me all these questions about, what's it like to play in front of that many people, and on the road, how does everything work? And yeah, there's definitely some major differences, but in the end, football is football. And I told the guys, the biggest thing in life, especially going to all those schools those last 8 weeks, after Tennessee's football season, and I was getting recruited again. It was really different because all the kids I'm with are high school kids. Now here's me going into my 3rd year of college, and so you definitely see football in school from a different perspective. And what I told the recruits on those visits that were going to the other schools is you want to be somewhere for the next 4 years of your life, or 5, where you're going to be happy and you're going to enjoy playing football and getting a great education. And, I think that's just something Hampden Sydney, it was really, really appealing to come here. Is, I believe the next 3 years are going to be a blast, with school, getting a great education, and then playing football, especially with Coach Favret. I mean, he does a great job with the guys, and I think our offense is going to be really exciting to watch this year.
Did you like the recruiting process?
Well, the first time through was it was pretty rough as it was, but the second time through, you look at a lot of different things. All schools talk about how they have this facility and that facility and, the usual. But, what I was looking for is more just companionship with the guys, how I'm going to relate to them and, just really getting a good feel for the school itself and what it has to offer. So that was one thing, Hampden Sydney really stuck out to me is, how great the kids are here. And, I just feel like I'm going to have these relationships for the rest of my life.
Coach talked about it when I talked to him earlier about, when you guys go somewhere, when somebody's going to come play you, there are probably going to be a lot of guys that want to put the ex-Vols quarterback on his backside. Talk about how you feel with maybe, I don't think anybody's going to do anything dirty, obviously, but talk about, how you feel with that target on your back of coming in with the credentials you have.
Well, it just makes me want to strive and work harder. I definitely know I'm going to have a bullseye on my back this year. I'm sure there are going to be guys wanting to, take down the Division I quarterback from Tennessee. So, it's something I don't really look too much into. It just kind of keeps me motivated out on the field to work extra, that extra work you got to put in. And I think I got a great offensive line, and I think they're going to do a great job of keeping those guys off my back. But, it makes it fun. That's what football's about. It's about the camaraderie and, the companionship and, of course, just going out there and doing your best every day and knowing that there's somebody out there always trying to outwork you. So I think it just, kind of adds to the charisma of the team, and, we're just really excited about this season.
Is it more important for a quarterback to bond quicker with his receivers or quicker with his offensive line?
Well, I don't know. That's a tough question.
I know the right answer is probably both.
I agree. I think it's a different relationship. With offensive line, I think you got to gain their respect, and show that you're their leader and that they're the guy that's going to be looking to you in the huddle and on the sidelines, leading them down the field. And with the receivers, I think it's more of a like a friendly relationship. You want to get those guys on the same page as you and the timing down. But I think the answer is definitely both. But it's a lot different, I think, with each position there. But it's fun, to go out and compete with those guys, and just letting them know that you have their back and they have yours. So I think that's kind of what football is all about.
Final question for you, Nash. Hope to do this again. Definitely look forward to seeing you play. How much pressure do you feel coming into Hampden Sydney? Because it's not like you're coming into a program that was 0-10, 1-9, and there's nowhere to go but up. I mean, this has been a very successful program in the ODAC. How much pressure do you feel that puts on your shoulders?
Well, I try really not to read, as far as the media or anything like that, and, what our expectations are this year. I think we're just going to go game by game. I think definitely our goal this year is to win another ODAC, and after that, take each playoff game one by one, and, hopefully we can get things rolling through the season and, just have a really successful season. Coach Favre, I think, has done a great job so far with us in camp, and I think we're just getting better each and every day. So I think the expectations are kind of limitless when it comes to this offense because it's so high-powered and we can put up a lot of points. And I know guys like Steven Fogelman are out there and Kenny Fryman directing that defense. I think they're going to do a lot better job this year in commanding that defense and keeping those other teams down and just letting us put some points up this year. So it's going to be fun to watch, and I'm ready for this season to kick off.
Nash, best of luck September 1st against Avon. Hopefully we can do this again down the road.
All right, thank you so much.